right after this break. So I'm gonna go around real quick. First and foremost, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys all for coming and rocking with us at Uncensored Podcast. Right across from me is a domestic violence survivor. As this month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So Miss Ebony Fletcher, thank you for being here. If you can just tell the viewers and listeners a little about yourself.
My name is Ebony Fletcher. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Born and raised. Thank you to Courtney for inviting me here and to meet everyone else. I'm grateful about that. And on Monday I turned 40. The big 4-0, and I'm just a black woman out here trying to get it. That's it.
So as she said earlier, you guys missed out. So I didn't know. I forgot. I was reading things, and I'm like, hey, so you got non-profit? She's like, what? Everything is a profit over here.
Facts. Everything's a profit.
Speaking of people who are getting it, this young man reached out to me in trying just to get word out about this amazing play that's about to come out real soon on October 26th. Joining us today is Mr. Rashad Worthy. Thank you for being here. And one of the producers on the team with him, I'm not gonna get his last name right, so I'm just gonna say Miss Kamisha's in the building. I was not going to chew your name up like that. I respect you a little more than that. So thank you for being here. One of the topics for today, the topic for today is talking about domestic violence and how stigmatized we are thinking that it doesn't happen on both sides of the situation.
Yeah.
And it does. So thank you guys once again for being here. I just wanted to just get your story, Miss Ebony, about what your journey was like and what you went through.
Okay, so just to start off, October 23rd of this year will make 15 years since my incident. So it was a really long time ago. But it doesn't stop it from not feeling like yesterday.
Right.
So PTSD is very real. And it happens in just regular instances in your life. It can be a car backfiring. It can be something falls from a shelf too hard. It can be a glass breaking. It can be anything that pulls that kind of trigger out of you. But what I learned over the years is going through therapy and talking about it and getting through different things is a lot of breathing techniques. I learned a lot of breathing techniques. I learned how to breathe to slow my heart rate down, because at one point it used to be so intense that my heart would felt like it was beating out of my chest. That's how high my anxiety was. But now over the years, like I said, it'll be 15 years on the 23rd, I learned how to slow my breathing down, close my eyes, take a minute, pause, and then regroup myself. Before, it was completely like out of whack. Like I dated this guy. We were like best friends, really cool. Started dating. He played ball, like really into ball. And, like we were friends and everything was cool and we liked each other. We started dating and we were together for 4 years. Wow. Yeah. Like we lived together. We did basically everything together. His family, like my family, everything was like so cool. I was cool with his mom. Like everything was like so cool. And the crazy thing is, I looked just like his mother. Like to look at me and to see us walking down the block, same height, same weight, same shape, same everything. I looked just like his mom. When I first met her, it was like, oh my God, like me and your mother look alike. And then he looks just like his dad. So when the mom would show me like old pictures of like them together, it was like us two.
Oh, wow.
It was like he was the spitting image of his dad, and I was like the spitting image of his mom.
Right.
So, long story short, years passed by, his mom passes away. Mind you, he was definitely a mama's boy. He was the youngest boy of 4 boys. So he was the baby. He was spoiled. He got everything. He did everything, and he got everything. And after his mom, passed away, it to me, and it's still, even though it's 2019, it's like a stigma with black men that are afraid to show how they feel or show their emotions or cry or punch a wall or break a glass or break a dish or do whatever it is to kind of get that off of them. Like, someone's parent passing is something really serious.
Yes.
Like, you have to go through whatever emotions you're going to go through just to get to the end. That's how I think. I think if you keep bottling stuff inside, it's going to take you longer to get through it. So you get through all of the emotions, the grief, the denial, the anger, the whatever it is that you have to get through, just to get through that. This man showed no kind of emotion when his mom passed away.
Wow.
He would play basketball from sun up to sun down. This man would come in exhausted. But I knew what that was. That was the anger and the buildup of saying, I can't say what I want to say or feel how I want to feel because I am a black man. But I'm hurting on the inside because my mom is no longer here. Like, that was my rock. She was my everything.
Right.
So that's what he did. He played basketball sun up to sundown. And like I said, we lived together. You know, I thought that eventually, you know, I'll build a family with this man. I was 25. I'm like, eventually I'll build a family with this man. You know, we'll move. You know how sometimes black women think, we're going to get this house. We're going to have these kids. You know, we're going to have a fat bank account. We're going to travel the world. You know what I mean? I was always thinking like ahead future-wise. And, you know, I don't know. It was just something that I was so passionate about what I was doing. I was in school at the time. I was working a full-time job. I was getting a shop open because I've been a hairstylist for like 20 years. And I'm trying to do all of that. And I found him after his mom passed, and I noticed it. Even though other people didn't really notice it, but he started getting more and more attached. Like, everywhere I go, it was like, where you going? What are you doing? Why are you wearing that? I don't think you should go. And, you know, I would just like brush it off, like, what is wrong with you? You know? But it started getting more and more intense, like more and more on me. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, this dude is bugging. Like, he was never like this before. And we had not like this big blowout or big argument, but he had left and went to school. Mind you, this man played ball so good that the college from the school that he wanted to go to in North Carolina, the coach came to our house. The white man drove from where he was at in North Carolina, came to our house to come get him. He didn't have to pay anything. No tuition, no room and board. The man said, all we want you to do is play basketball. That's it. Just play basketball for us. I thought everything was set. I'm like, listen, sky's the limit right now. We about to like really get it. You know what I'm saying? Let him keep doing what he doing. I'm doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? We about to get it. This man left after 2 weeks. I came home from work one day. The man was laying in the living room in the dark. And I'm saying to myself,
he snapped already.
Aren't you in school? I left because, you know, I wanted to be here with you. I'm like, are you serious? This is a big opportunity. You don't have to worry about me. I'm good. I'm holding the house down. I'm still in college. I was going to LIU at the time, downtown Brooklyn. I'm still in college. I'm working. I got it. The man did not want to go back to school, like at all. He was like, I don't want to go. I don't care about basketball. I just want to be here with you. Long story short, he became really, really lazy. I'm not a lazy person. I don't want no lazy man. So if I'm up grinding, you gonna be up grinding. This is a grinding household. Everybody in here go grind. If it's the cat, the dog, I don't care who it is. Everybody got a job. Everybody got a job. And one day I just got fed up. I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I left and went to Harlem. My aunt lives on 129th. I called her. I was like, I can't stay here no more. I had just finished furnishing my whole apartment. Like everything. I did everything over. New living room set, dining room set, bedroom set. I did the kitchen over, the floors, everything. You know what I told him? You don't have to leave. I'll leave. I'll leave. You can have everything up in here. I don't want my clothes, my coats, nothing. I called my aunt. I was like, I'm coming uptown because I can't do this. Like, he's so on me, and then you don't want to do anything. Like, I don't understand that. So, came back after I felt he was, like, going. I'm like, all right, he's going. He's not coming back. Then the stalking started. Now, at first, I was just like, I hear stuff. You know, you hear your girlfriends, and they be like, oh, yeah, girl. You know, when I go to work, you know, he'll pick me up. You know, or when I go to the store, he at the store. And, you know, when you're thinking about it, you're like, all right, well, he's probably just trying to come get you. But it's not until you're actually in it. You're like, this man will not leave me alone. Follow me to my job, to the school, when I get off work, when I come from school, if I'm at the laundromat. It was like everywhere I went. I even switched jobs to go to another school. He still found me there. So it was just like, okay, this dude is not, he's not letting up. And then one day he came to my house, October 23rd, 2004. Called me up on the phone, just as smooth as smooth. And I know he didn't have anyone. Family completely disowned him. Me as being in his head as his mother. Because I think after a while, that's what it started to be. It started to be like, okay, I know she's my girlfriend, but she reminds me so much of my mother. It's like he couldn't, like, separate it. Yeah, he couldn't separate it. And it felt like I was becoming his mother. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I'm your girlfriend. I don't want to be a mother. Mm-hmm. And he called me on the phone. I need to speak to somebody. I don't have anybody to talk to. So, at the time, I lived in the projects on Georgia Avenue. Mm-hmm. Georgia between Sunday, but you know the Bahamas?
Yeah.
I lived in the Bahamas for 10 years. And he called me up, and he was just like, just come talk to me. You know, I don't have anybody. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we go in the staircase. Now, a lot of people will be like, why would you go in the staircase with him? It was the norm. It was the norm for us, because that's where he would go to smoke his weed and to drink his beer. You couldn't do that in my house. Right. So if you got to go outside, in the hallway, I don't care where you go, but you can't smoke weed and drink in my house. You got to find you a nice little whatever, and you go out there. And I think that was him trying to make me comfortable. Right. As to say, well, if she come with me in the staircase, you know, she's not gonna think nothing of it, because when she comes to look for me, or she says dinner's ready, or you know, you got a phone call, she always comes to the staircase to come get me. Right. So I'm there, we're having a conversation. This man is not drunk, he's not high, nothing. I don't smell liquor, no weed. You know, and I looked for certain stuff like that. Right. Like looked in his eyes to see, did he sniff any cocaine? Did he smoke any crack? Did he, you know what I'm saying? Like just something to make me in my mind as to say, well, maybe he was high that day. That man was not high at all. Not one sip of anything. And, you know, we're talking and I'm thinking things are like going good. And he's just like, you know, I don't have anybody. I'm sleeping outside on the bench. You know, this is not like me. We just need to get together. And I'm telling him, like, just give me a break. Like let's just take a break from each other. You get yourself together. You know, let me regroup. You regroup. And then we'll come back. Like, everything will be fine. You know, let's just give each other a break. So in his head, he's like, break. Like, no, I don't want to break. So this is what he does. He pulls a gun out. It was a revolver. And he says, well, if I can't have you, can't nobody have you. Like I don't care who it is, mother, father, if you're not with me and you're not in my possession or mine, like it's a wrap. Like you're not going to go anywhere. So me in my mind, the first thing I'm thinking is, maybe I can say something to calm him down. So what I did was, I said, you know what, listen, I wasn't nervous. I wasn't stuttering or anything. I said, listen, this is what I'm going to do. You're going to put the gun away. We're going to go inside. You're going to shower. I'm going to make you some breakfast. You know what I'm saying? You can smoke your weed if you want to get a little beer. I'll go outside and get you a Heineken. And let's just sit down and talk. I said, because that right there that you're doing is not going to solve anything. Let's kind of calm down. I think at that point, in his head, he was just like, I'm just going to come here just to do what I got to do. Because he wasn't even trying to hear me. It was just like, no, you know, like, that's not how it's going to go. You know, like this is how it's going to go. Right. And true statement, when people say right before you're about to die, like your life flashes in front of you, true statement. Absolutely, positively true statement. Wow. You see everything within a flash. It's like a slideshow, but it's going really, really fast. Like everything. Your childhood, your friends, school, good times, bad times. It flashes so very fast. And all I was thinking in my head was, I'm 25. Yeah. Like I have so much ahead of me. I'm in college. You know, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a mom yet. Yeah. You know, I didn't get married yet. I'm my mother's only child. Yeah. I'm like, this can't happen. I'm the oldest grand. I'm like, this is impossible. Like, I just really don't think that my life is about to end at 25. Like, that's the only thing that just kept going on and on in my head. So he points the gun at me to aim it at my chest, but I like tried to knock it out of his hand. So he shot me in my leg. Wow. So I still have a bullet in my right leg. In my right hip, it's still there. It's lodged and it's not going anywhere. Doctors tried several times to try to get it out, but it's not going anywhere. So we're fighting, you know, wrestling and all of that. Mind you, I'm on the floor. So we used to wrestle all the time, like in the house, like play fight, but not hard and forceful. And he got me down on the ground, like on my stomach, face down. I could not move. And this man was so skinny, but he was so strong. Yeah. And I used to be like, as big as I was 250 pounds. Like, as I was a big girl, like as big as I was, this skinny man, I'm just like, there's no way that he has like that much power and like that to kind of hold me like that. And I'm on my face, I'm on my stomach, and he gets on top of me on my back, puts the gun to my head and pull the trigger.
Oh my God.
Oh, point blank range on the back of my head, not far away, not nothing. The gun jammed. That was the first time. He banged it against the wall. Because, you know, in the, I don't know if y'all know projects, but those walls are so, they hard. And, like, if you hit your head or you try to knock, you can knock somebody out just by throwing them against the wall. So he banged the gun against the wall again, put it to my head, pulled the trigger, and jammed again. Oh. So I'm still trying to fight, but I can't really do anything because he's on my back. I'm like, the way that I'm, now if I was faced up, I probably could have bit him or, you know, try to scratch his eyes or something. Couldn't do nothing. Third time, he pulled the gun to the back of my head. No lie, this is not a lie. I don't know who believe in God or who don't believe in God. But I heard God say, don't move. Like, close your eyes, don't move. And that's exactly what I did. Soon as he put the gun to my head and pulled the trigger, it didn't jam. Like, the bullet actually came out. Like, he shot me in the back of my head.
Oh my God, I can't even.
He shot me directly in the back of my head, and the only thing I could think of was what he said. Close your eyes and don't move. And that's exactly what I did. I stayed still until I felt he wasn't around anymore. And I got up, I ran in my apartment. A good friend of mine was there that I was talking to. We were like friends for like a good minute. And I knew that the stalking thing was going on, so I'm like, I didn't want to stay in the house by myself. You know, I need somebody to like come and, you know. And I just would have never thought. I slept with this man. I ate with this man. We prayed together. We laughed together. We talked about family and future together. Never in a million years would I've ever thought. And now I don't even say never would I ever thought. Right. I don't put nothing past nobody. Yeah, right. And it's not about family and friends. I'm not trying to take nothing from nobody. I slept in the same bed with this man. We had sex together. We did everything together and ate. And this man still took a gun and put it to the back of my head and tried to kill me. I don't put nothing past nobody. Yeah. I don't care who you are. Anybody can have a feeling in their head and snap one day and say, you know what? Like, I don't want you to be around anymore. If I can't have you or can't nobody have you. I don't want nobody to love me that much. If that's love, that I don't want. Right. I don't want that. Like, we can be together, we can chill together, and we can grow together. But when you come to that point of obsession, I'm out. I'm out. I can't do it. It took me so long to date. Like, I have a man right now, and I'm 40. I just turned 40 Monday. I have a man now. But it took me so long to kind of, like, get through. You know what I mean? Like, my cousins would ask me, like, yo, Eb, like, you know, you still like guys, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm scared to break up with somebody. I'm scared to say, babe, like, this not working. Because I'm thinking in my head that they're going to be like, oh, word, this ain't working? Oh, all right, well, then if I can't have you, can't know. Like, I was so scared of that. Yeah. It's like, how do I break up with somebody after going through something like that?
See, I thank you for sharing your story. I commend you, and I believe in God, and God is real. It was a gradual increase that brought him to that point. And you saw the signs, and you knew better to leave the situation. You said something, you went to your family's house in Harlem or something like that. And this is why our play is going to premiere October 26th. It's on domestic violence. And we chose St. John's University because kids don't know that there are signs. Domestic violence is more than just physical, okay? It's mental, emotional, control, financial, and usually when the predator has their prey, they are gradually increasing to that height of violence. Yeah. So if you can see the signs, if you know the signs, in our play, it's gradual. You see the signs. At first you're like, oh, this is love. But then the climax, this is not love. Because it's not. No part of control is love. You cannot control who you love. Period. And I just commend you. Thank you for sharing the story to tears.
I know we're not a crier, back on camera, like my tears going down my face. But first, like she said, I commend you. To have to live with that so long. I know you were saying like it was 15 years ago, but after hearing your story, it is like yesterday.
It is like yesterday.
And the day before that, because you live this every day. But I do want to ask you. So then you get shot in the back of your head, and what happens? You get up. You said you got up.
I got up. I went in the house. My friend was there. He was sleeping in the living room.
Where did you get the energy to even get up?
My adrenaline, let me tell you, my heart was beating so fast because of the adrenaline, even though I was able to lay there and stay still and close my eyes. But my adrenaline was beating so bad. I really honestly thought I was shot in the chest. It wasn't until I got in the house till I realized it was my leg that was bleeding and not my chest. So when I went inside, my friend is just like, Ed, where did you go? You went to the supermarket again? Because that day was my cousin's baby shower. So I was supposed to be doing this big old cooking or whatever. And I'm just like, no. Like, dude just shot me. And he wakes up and he was like, huh? I'm like, he shot me in my head. And he's looking and he was like, where are you bleeding from? And I'm like, he shot me in my head and he shot me in my chest. So my friend, he's checking. He was like, all right, it's not your chest that's bleeding. He's checking. He said, Ed, it's your leg that's bleeding. And I'm sitting on the bed like, he shot me in my head. I'm telling you, this man shot me in my head. And we're looking and looking and looking. And the bullet was so smashed. It just came right out my hand, went right down my shirt. Wow. It was smashed to the point of that's how fast the bullet came out the chamber. Like my scalp was burnt. Like everything. And it just sat there. It never went in. I was not bleeding. It never entered my skull, my scalp, nothing.
Look at the power of God. Nobody can sit here and say
you can't tell me that there's not a God.
God
Like,
is not real.
Like, are you serious? There is. He is real.
And that level of trust and faith and obedience. Oh man.
But not even think about the details in that by yourself.
Like oh man.
He said, "Be still."
Be still.
Be still. Don't move.
Close your eyes.
Just close your eyes.
And just trust me.
Exactly.
Right.
Because you know what it was? After everything happened, I'm like, I know why he said that. Because the more I would have kept fighting, the more he would have kept trying to shoot me.
Yeah.
So if I did what God said, your eyes lay still. And that's exactly what I did. Like, I held my breath. I just laid there and I waited until I thought that he left. And by the time I opened my eyes, he was running down the stairs.
Listen, in our weakness, he is made strong.
Yes.
So we were the weakest point ever. He said, be still. I got it.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with it. Be still and breathe.
So I'm going to show you who's in control.
Right.
I'm going to show you who's in control.
Similar like when you're in the wild and they say if you near a bear or something, play dead.
Right.
Because if they see that activity, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to attack.
Right.
Play dead.
Man. I was normally this more for work right now. I want to take a small
That was a lot.
I want to regroup. I want to come back and I want to continue the conversation. We'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
All right. I played the whole picture. I saw the movie.
Yeah,
Like I can see the movie. I'm sorry. We're back. We're back.
We're trying to
we
be
needed.
right
We
now.
had to regroup. Once again, I thank you for sharing your story because so many people have these stories out here that they're so afraid to tell just out of fear of. And the fact that you were able to just exhibit that nonsense of fear, like, listen, God got me, and this has proven that, and I'm going to tell my story to be a testimony to others.
Amen.
God bless you. Oh, God bless you. And for those of you who struggle with this level of faith, if this story wasn't it for you, I don't know what to tell you right now. Like, I still have goosebumps, and I'm black, and you can see them. Like, it's really crazy. But I love this connection, and this was when I was able to kind of connect two stories together and get you on the show, Mr. Rashad, and then you, Ebony. I'm like, this is going to be a great one.
It is, because I'm already sitting here like, okay, we're going to have to talk, because I'm going to write yours too. This play is a true story as well. Same situation. Young lady saw a previous play I produced. She said, hey, I love the story. You guys are the one to write mine. And that's what we did. We sat down, listened to a story, same way we're sitting here listening to you, and I'm literally putting everything in my mind already, knowing how it look, how to do it. But that's just, that's what I love to do. That's what I do. I hate that you had to go through it, but listening to the story, these things do happen. And when you listen to a person, the same way we all sat here like, oh my God, like I have to sit here and figure out how to show that.
Yeah.
I hate to do it, but I have to do it for teaching purposes.
Yeah.
You know, because these stories need to be told. And one of the things that I'm trying to do with this play, one of the things that I'm really truly looking for is to show people how not to be the person that's being the abuser. Some people don't know.
Yeah.
Some people, we also touched on mental illness because obviously this gentleman was going through something.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just saying, we were speaking how this gentleman had an out. Most people from the hood, they snap because they don't have a way out.
Right.
This brother had a way. But so many different forces was at him that he broke. You know, unfortunately, you know, praying for the brother, hopefully he one day get it back together. And anyone listening, I hope y'all actually listen. And if you got somebody that you know is going through something, be their support system. If you know someone being the aggressor, talk to them. Tell them to chill.
Yeah.
Because sometimes things can get so far gone and out of hand, there's no turning back.
Yeah.
And you may not even realize it. Like somebody may just be like, man, I'm gonna slap this person, or you know, I'm gonna shoot them, or I'm gonna do whatever. Because they're just upset and not understanding that it's time to just chill, fall back, and like you said, let's have a conversation.
And we did a panel this past Thursday about black men venting and some of the reasons and stereotypes as to why we don't vent. And in part of your story, one of the things that I thought when you were saying that there was nobody to talk to, you know, and because he's a black man, his first defense was, I'm good. I'm tough. I got this. You know, I'm gonna be okay. When in reality, it's okay to not be okay.
That's it.
It's okay to find someone to talk to. It's okay to seek that therapy and to seek that help for yourself. You understand what I'm saying? And the fact that he was harboring so much anger and hate and resentment, I just felt like now not only was he taking it out on you, but he was taking it out on his mom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that level of anger wasn't just because she was leaving, but because somebody has already left, and there was no out in that. You know, he came back home because in reality, in his mind, this was still mom. You know what I'm saying? So you know, like to even have that thought process kind of takes you that far. When you're like, you know what, I'm done, and you snap. You know what I mean? You become something that you aren't. You know what I mean? And to kind of get into this play called Through Crystal Eyes, I know you were saying like you tell these stories and you kind of display these stories, and they're hard. I can imagine. And like Miss Kamisha was saying, like, and they're gradual because things like they're red flags. They're always red flags. You know what I mean? So tell us a little about this play and your thought process behind doing this.
So again, the stage play is going to be at St. John's October 26th. So a young lady, she went through a similar story as yours. And she wanted her story to be told. She felt like it was time to talk about it. So we talked, and I said, yeah, we can make this visual. So the whole objective was to show her story, and you'll see what she went through, how everything was so good in the beginning. It was great. It was great in the beginning, and how those red flags started to show, but she didn't recognize them.
Right. Or we ignore them. Let's be honest. A lot of times,
sometimes,
it's an ignoring factor. Oh, they're all right. They'll be okay.
Right.
I can fix it. You know what I mean? A lot of times we think that we're the savior when in reality we're not.
We're not.
You know what I mean? So,
Indeed. So, you know, we tell a story, and you're going to see the ups and downs, things that she goes through. You're going to see her support system, who she has with her. And you see how she gets through it and handles things. It's real deep. It's, you know, you're going to sit on the edge of your seat. It gets a little graphic. So you got to have a strong stomach. You got to be built for it because we got to tell the truth.
Right.
It's a real story. As much as we're not advocating it, but we're trying to tell a story and paint a picture. And again, it's at St. John's because that age bracket of our people, not saying adults don't go to college, but at that age bracket, some people don't know what they're in. You know? They don't have no idea. They just think it is what it is.
Right.
But they need to be able to identify those flags. So that age group is so important to us because, as we always say, the children are the future, and that's that transition of our children becoming grown-ups. So we don't want their grown-up life to go right down the tubes. So we want to make sure that everyone gets to see it and you know, be aware of what's going on. As we're all here to promote awareness with different things, which you, like you said, this being a month of domestic violence, we're just trying to make sure everyone is aware. And again, one of the key things I truly want is for people that don't know what they're doing to realize, hey, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Because if we can stop that person from making it happen, then we don't have to worry about the person going through the abuse and having to recover. You said 15 years. 15 years. And it feels like yesterday.
It was like
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. You know? And what you saying, like, men need to learn how to vent.
Yeah.
You know, when my father died, before he died and when he was in the hospital, I sat by his side like every night, just thinking about everything he taught me. You know, I was always around him. He taught me a lot. I love him. And even though he couldn't talk, he had a tube in his throat. At one point, he tried to talk to me, and it just wasn't working. I was like, Dad, look, don't just be cool, rest. And I said, Dad, everything you taught me, I'll remember it, and I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah.
You know. And it's like it was raining at one point, and it's like I saw him standing in the rain, and he just gave me that signature smile. My pops used to wear a tam, and I was good. I had my days where I cried. I knew how to vent. You know, I got children. They here chilling. I bring them out with me, and they still teach me things. But I cry sometimes because I be saying to myself, yeah, this is hard, and I be praying so much for them, and I be like, I gotta do better. Like sometimes tears are for joy. You know, sometimes you gotta be able to say, you know what, I'm hurt or I'm confused.
Right.
You know, I love having people around being able to talk like all of us here right now.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful thing. Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna sit here and act like I ain't never cried or I'm not emotional to hear your story.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, we all just sat here and we can relate.
Right.
Ain't nobody got to be that hard in the world to act like they can't vent.
Right.
You know, but it's a good thing that you were who you were, so you knew that it wasn't you. You know, you did what you could do. Unfortunately, you went through what you went through, but this is what life is. Sometimes we go through experiences, you know, and we can only hope that everyone we touch actually understands that it's okay or find some support to be okay, you know.
Yeah.
So this is an outlet for people for all things. I'm sure you had everything that you talk about. We need this.
Yeah.
We need this to talk about it and spread that awareness. So anytime y'all need me, y'all call me and say, yo, come up and help us out. Help us talk about something.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm into.
But that
helping
helps,
each other.
like, you have to talk about it.
Right.
Like that's how you get through it. Like when my incident first happened, first of all, I had a book that came out about it. It's called Souls of My Young Sisters. And my girlfriend, the one that's the publisher, she was just like, write your story and put your story in the book. And my thing is like, I have a great grandmother that's a minister. I come from the church all my life. How am I gonna let people know out in the world that I just got shot? Like, how did I even involve myself in anything like that? Like, I was embarrassed. I was scared all the time. I was nervous about how people were gonna look at me. Like Ed, like what was he a thug? Was he a what I mean? Like I was so scared of that stigma.
Right.
And I prayed. And I prayed and I prayed, and I'm just like, I don't know what to write in this. You know what I'm saying? Like, what should I write? You know what God told me? Tell it all. The truth. I want you to tell it all. Yeah. And start from the beginning. Because this is what I used to do, and this is how I learned my growth. I would only start from the point of the survival.
Yeah.
I never wanted to tell a person how deep in it I was.
Yeah.
How this man got locked up, went to Rikers, I still went to visit him.
Right.
How he left Rikers and the Lord sent him to the boat and I still went to the boat to go visit him. Not even knowing in my head, girl, I'm trying to push him further and further away from you. But you just keep going closer and closer to him.
That happens a lot.
Like,
I was getting ready to get it. It's funny how you say that because I was getting ready to get into that question. Like sometimes we gotta take the blame in this.
And it's ourselves.
Like let's be honest.
Right, like why do you keep going closer and I keep trying to push him away?
Talking about the necessary of this conversation. Like I literally was getting ready to ask you this.
Yes. That is the whole honest truth. Like Don't talk about the good part, because not everybody want to hear that. You're gonna meet people that are prostitutes, drug addicts, women that are going through the same thing. Stop telling them the good part.
Right.
I want you to tell it all. Start from the beginning. Start from him robbing you.
Right.
Where you had to hide your money or your pocketbook under your pillow. How you had to sleep with a bra at night and hide your money. And people asking you, Eb, you just got paid. Why are you broke? Because he was robbing me.
Right.
That's why.
And us making excuses.
And making excuses like, oh, I bought this, oh, I bought that.
Right.
No, he was literally taking all of my
Because
money.
a lot of times we're ignorant in our own self. And we're like, you know what, it's okay. Because once again, I can fix it.
Right.
I'll be okay.
I'll fix it.
Even when God is saying to you, no, girl, run. Run. And you're still like, no, God.
I done sent him to the Bronx. Hey, how did you get to the Bronx?
No, God, I
You
got
taking
this.
trains now?
I got this. You know what I mean? And when we allow ourselves to think that we're better than God and we're bigger than God.
But
And then
especially women have that thing. We want to fix
Fix
everything.
yes. And some men, unfortunately, just can't.
They
be
can't.
fixed.
They can't.
It's not for you.
It's not for you. It's not destined for you to do it. Time to speak to young women and all people in there in that time span to tell them, like, you know, here's the signs and here's what it is, and it happened to me. So, you know, I'm trying to tell you or share my story so it doesn't happen to you. What are you doing in this moment?
You know what? I'm a people person. I'm very social. Wherever I go, I like to talk to strangers. You know, if they say, hey, good morning, I'm like, hey, good morning. Did you get your coffee yet? Did you, you know, I'm one of those. Yeah, I had my coffee, I had my latte. So I run into everybody. Like I've after my incident, I used to run into the most strangest people, like addicts and young girl prostitutes. Like I said, I'm a hairstylist, like strippers, drug dealers. I mean, just run into like some really odd to me people that's just like, I do not know this person. Right. You know, and I'll be sitting there. I remember the time I was on the A train. I was going to Manhattan, and there was this young girl. She was an addict, and she was a white girl. And you know, she's sitting there, she's talking, but she's crying. She's talking to herself, she's crying. And I'm sitting there, you know, I got my music on or whatever. And you know, God is just like, you know, tell her. And I'm like, I don't know this girl. Like, I'm not telling no perfect stranger my story or to even try to get her out of whatever it is that she's in. But you know what? I had to. We started talking. She was crying. She had an incident with her boyfriend. I think he kicked her out. She was living on the street for like 2-3 nights or something like that. And you know, and I was just sharing with her my story and just letting her know everything was going to be okay. You know, pray, get yourself together, regroup. Right. You know what I'm saying? Move, go to a family's house, talk to a friend. And I do that now. Yeah. Like, I do that now. And I'm like, I meet women that have been through, and we both have been through violence together. And I have women that have been beaten, and they would tell me I would rather get shot. And then I would say to them, I would rather get beat than got shot. So it's crazy because we're both the victims of it, and we're both the survivors. Yeah. But to us, it seems like one abuse is supposed to be less than the other. And you know, they're like, well, you know, damn, you know, he's beat my ass every day. I wish he could have just shot me. And I'm saying to them was like, I wish he would have beat me rather than shot me. This man never slapped me, spit on me, kicked me. I would have rather that than him put a gun in my head and pull the trigger.
Yeah. And so through Crystallize, what are you trying to what do you want to expect people to lead with? What sense of something that you want them to get when they go see your play?
Again, I want them to lead with being able to see those flags, to recognize them. Again, some people don't even know what they're going through. Some people don't even know what their friend is going through. Yes. Some people don't have a name for it. They don't understand. They just think it's their norm, and that it's okay,
right.
Or that they can fix it.
Yeah.
So we want them to leave knowledgeable. We're going to have professional people there. Yeah. If anyone needs to ask a question for a friend or for themselves, but we want people to leave knowledgeable. Yeah. And we definitely want people to know that there is life after. It's going to be okay. Right. You're going to be fine. You'll get past it. There's life after. And there's also there's hope afterwards. And we want people to be able to recognize if they're the person being the aggressor. Because some people don't know. Some people think what they're doing is fine.
And a lot of times, and we're going to be discussing this next week on our Generational Curses episode, a lot of times people are born into homes that are like that.
Can I come back? Listen.
We have an open door policy.
Oh my
God.
Them generational curses is
welcome.
serious.
And a lot of times they're happening at home when we're growing up, so this is all we know. You know what I mean?
But that's
we
what
know,
we think is
right.
normal.
Right.
We think it's normal because we're stuck in a predicament where our mother's beating out, our father's beating our mother, or vice versa. Like,
Right.
And there's no out.
No.
You know what I mean? There is no out. This is all you see from the time you're 5 until you're 20 years old, and now you go out into this world where it's all that it is.
That's
you know
true.
what I'm saying? So once again, I'm so thankful for you guys. For those of you who are listening, it is okay to get help.
Yes.
It is okay to ask for help.
Yes.
It is okay to leave.
Yes, it
It's
sure
okay
is.
to leave. A lot of times,
Absolutely.
our issue is our willingness to want to stay
Right.
and make a change. And sometimes that change is leaving.
That's it.
It
That's
is leaving.
it.
It's walking out the door and saying, you know what? I will no longer be
Absolutely.
abused. I will no longer play the victim. I'm going to
Absolutely.
get my ass up out of here
Absolutely.
before
Right.
something happens.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That's
And it's for our men. Because I know we didn't really touch our men. It's okay. If this is happening to you, seek help.
Help, yeah.
Seek help.
Yeah.
Let's stop being the tough guys. You understand what I'm saying? It's okay to be vulnerable.
Right.
It's okay to trust somebody. It's okay to not be okay.
Right.
And the thing is, you cannot help these people in their future generation if you are still broken.
That's true.
Yes.
You
That's
can't help
true.
nobody being broken.
Yeah.
You can't. You know what I mean? We talked about before about forgiveness and healing and stuff. You cannot heal if you're not being truthful.
That's it.
You cannot heal if you're not willing to go to lengths to have these honest conversations and not just starting where it ended, but go to the beginning where
Yes.
you fucked up to,
Right,
and
exactly.
what you had to go through and things you had to grow through to get to this place. You know what I mean? So once again, I'm going to give you guys the floor to give out your information when people can find more about you, because I want them to. They need to. It's a necessary type of thing. Please tell. We'll start over here. You have something to say, Ms. Kanisha?
I do.
Yes, I saw you say it. Go ahead.
I love the show.
Yes.
Thank you.
But I just wanted to add one thing in regards to what we want the audience to leave with.
Yeah.
The known fact that you're not alone. You are not alone. This is something that is happening. It's something that's going on. A lot of times it's quieted, but we're breaking the groove.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
we're
true.
spreading awareness, and I thank God for people like you with your transparency and your ministry, because you let people know you're not alone in this.
Yeah.
I've been here, and look at me.
Right.
It's hard sometimes. Sometimes I gotta breathe in deep,
Yeah.
but I'm still breathing.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm taking it day by day.
Moment by moment,
Yes.
not even day by day, because sometimes the day is too much.
Yeah.
Moment by moment, and that's all I had to say.
But it was powerful. Thank you. It was intentional. So Mr. Rashad, let everybody know they can find more about you. They can add you on Instagram, add you on Facebook, or wherever they need to
Yes, you
to
can.
get tickets.
Again, thank you. Tickets can be bought on eventbrite.com. It's through crystaleyes.eventbrite.com, or you can show up. But I would definitely say do it ahead of time, because there's 2 shows. They could sell out. Don't be the person outside wanting to get in and see this powerful play.
Yes.
My information, you can catch me at my website is www.rashadworthy.com. Rashad is RASHAD, Worthy, WORTHY. And
Thank you so much.
you'll find everything you need there.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Fletcher.
Thank you.
Yes. Hey, Ebony Fletcher here. Thank you so much for having me, guys. Once again, I really enjoyed this. You guys can catch me Instagram at Hair Crack or Natural.
Yes!
I have a product called Hair Crack. Come get it. It's all natural and it works. That's the thing about it. My products work. So that's Instagram. My other Instagram page is The Vixen Collection. I have a hairline as well. Ebony Fletcher on Facebook, regular www.facebook.com/Ebony Fletcher. And Facebook has a hair crack page too.
Nice.
And that's hair crack, HAIRKRAC. Let's get it straight.
Let them know.
So check me out, guys. Thank you for having me.
You guys are family, so you're always welcome back to chat it up with us. Or join.